Alright, now, as promised, we're going to look at a problem that requires the knowledge of the difference between a linear equation and an exponential equation, or function. We can use that word as well. So, we talked about it in our last video, how they look different in tables and how they look different as graphs. Now we're going to put that to practice. What we're given is this data, and the question is this data here linear or exponential data? There's a couple ways we could do this problem. We could actually graph all of these points and see if we come up with a line, if the points form a line, or if they form sort of a curve that increases more and more as it moves forward. We would then know whether we have a linear function, if it makes a line obviously, or an exponential function if it forms that curve, just by plotting the points on a graph. Another way to do it is to look at them on a table like this. You can notice that I took all of these points here, 2, -7, you can find it here below. -2, -9 is listed here. And all of these coordinates are, but you'll notice, what did I do with the x column here? I put them in a certain order. Do you see that? From smaller to bigger. And I did that intentionally so that we could see what the pattern is. Remember that a linear function means that we add or subtract every time, and an exponential function means that we are multiplying by something every time. Okay? So let's take a look and see what happens. Now from -2 to 0, how much did we increase in the x direction? Well, we went up 2. Now, what happens with y? The y values here, we go from -9 to -8. On the number line, we could look at that. -9 is here, and -8 is closer to 0, and it's to the right of it. That means we actually added 1. So what we did here is we went up by 1. Okay. Then when we go up two places again here, from 0 to 2, we can see that we add 1 again. -8 plus 1 gives us -7 in the y column. In the x column, it's consistent. It's going up by 2 again. And you can probably guess what happens here. And it's correct if you guessed that we add 1 yet again. The pattern is apparent now. We're adding 1 as we make increases in x values. We add 1 each time in the y values. So then we come over here and we look, and remember, linear means that we're adding or subtracting. Exponential means that we're multiplying. Well, we know that we're adding. This tells us that we have a linear function. Alright, I hope that's helpful.